Hola amigos, ¿cómo está? This is Bearsky speaking from the magical treehouse. Just want to give you a quick shout out before it gets dark. It gets dark pretty quickly in the jungle, and I just want to tell you that the Temazcal ceremony, the sweat lodge today was really amazing. So purifying, so beautiful. So I'm not allowed any Bearsky aujourd'hui, but I have this. This is actually very good, and there's a lot of it. And it's the best drink you can have after you have been sweating for 3 hours. I'm so grateful, and today's ceremony was, I guess, all about addictions, and it was really sweet, very powerful, very touching. And I think for the first time in many, many years, I was able to express the song of my heart. My mind song, as Sovereign calls it. My cells, my being wanted to speak about Tim, a really special person in my life who died 5 years ago. Okay, I don't want to simplify it by saying that he died because of addiction. Okay, somebody's riding around here. That's Mexico for you. Well, the reason he died was because he had a very sensitive heart. And men, I think especially men in the Western world, have a very difficult time when they're sensitive, because everyone is telling them that they're supposed to be in a certain way. And when you're not like that, the message is almost like fake it till you make it. Like you have to pretend. But the reality is that all you need to do, or all I need to do, is to be who I am, with all of my tendencies, with my character that I pretty much believe is something we are born with, and we shouldn't try to change it. We shouldn't try to pretend to be somebody we are not. But it's easier said than done, because we're social animals and there's a lot of pressure to be somebody else who is seen as more acceptable. And that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to make himself stronger, and the substance that he chose was cocaine, because it was making him feel more macho, more selfish, more like an asshole, actually, But in the West, we call this competitive, okay? So basically, by trying to gain this competitive advantage, he killed himself pretty much. But all he had to do was to be himself. But it was an impossible task. Anyways, so during the ceremony, I was able to express the sense of my loss, my love for him, and my understanding and compassion, and knowing that he was not a bad person, and that's another thing that we have to deal with as a society. We attach a label of weakness, of callousness, of selfishness to addictions. But the reality is that often it's the most sensitive, the most beautiful souls who end up using drugs and alcohol, because we live in such a fucked up world that sometimes it's fucking impossible to be yourself. So yes, it was very, very healing, and I was very proud of myself for being able to speak up, to speak my heart, to give him a tribute, to give Tim a tribute, my beautiful friend. And then, because I spoke up, and it's usually like this, a woman next to me spoke up. This really beautiful young woman. And it turned out that she just 6 months ago lost her husband to drugs and alcohol as well. And she was talking about how she would like to reverse the last memory of him and to make it a positive one. Because what she's left with at the moment, and she didn't go into specifics, but basically I got the sense that there was a lot of ugliness, there was a lot of sadness and struggle at the end, and that's what she remembers at this point. And then, I was so touched. It was really beautiful, and I was so happy that she was able to participate in the ceremony and that she spoke up. And then when she was getting on the boat, I came up to her and just gave her a hug. And it felt very right, a very human connection, from the heart. So yes, so the ceremony was wow. I really hope that more people can participate in such ceremonies, and I am extremely, extremely grateful, lucky, privileged, and just in awe of everything that happened to me since I left the dictatura medical, and discovered my Bearsky treehouse and met this beautiful community. Like I said before, I'm on the indigenous land. So basically, it's almost like a reserve. There's no police here. Everything is super chilled. I can find coconuts everywhere for free. And I'm really happy. And it's really amazing how a universe can give you so much, but you have to be prepared to take the first step. And that's what I did. And it was not easy. I thought that I would never get out. I remember I was sitting at the airport, and it was so quiet. It was almost like a hospital, but without that horrible smell that I so fucking hate. And I felt, okay, maybe it was my paranoia, but there was so much security, and there were police women on bicycles constantly circling around, and there were not so many passengers. So honestly, like, I was thinking, what the fuck is this, you know? And at the same time, because I didn't sleep the whole night, I felt like my temperature was rising. You know, like I felt like I was burning up, and I had like one last Tylenol left, Tylenol for flu, and I took it. And then I realized that, well, it's not going to work like right away. You know, it's not like a magic pill. But it was about time that I had to pass through like the security and stuff. So I just sat down and I was like, okay, mind over matter. You know? Like, let me just meditate. I mean, I used to be so good at meditating, right? And I just sat down and I was all alone there. And you know, and I gave it 20 minutes, but that was like, okay, pushing it really, because my gate was quite far, so. And as I was walking up to the guy who was measuring everyone's temperature, I was praying, you know, and right at the moment when I came up to him, he turned away for some reason. Like he got distracted, and I just walked through. Can you imagine? And then I heard voices behind me. Other people, you know, like fucking diligent workers. They're like, is she okay? Is she okay? But I just kept on walking, and I guess all of them kind of like said fuck it at the end. And then that was it. And that prayer, that meditation led me to here. And this is it. Okay, guys, I love you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe to Bearsky Show. There's going to be more reports from the treehouse, and I'm going to wrap it up because I'm afraid for the sound quality, because everyone is riding around at this time. Adios, amigos. Hasta la vista. Hasta luego. Bearsky loves you. Bye bye.